I'm about to get some heel hate for this, like X-Pac hate from my wrestling fans out there, more modern fans. Think of Baron Corbin, think of Seth Rollins when he was the WWE champion, when he first got the belt, when he betrayed Evolution, or sorry, the Shield, not Evolution. Or think of Triple H. I'm about to get some heel heat for this, because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 1 is not for me. And on this episode movie breakdown series review, I don't do my best to grade it as objectively as possible. There are things in this anime I love, and there are things in this anime that I could not stand. This season 1, I should say. This season. It's a moment. It's a moment, and I'm going to review on this episode movie breakdown series review, so please bear with me. Be as honest, I like to be honest with you guys, as honest as possible for my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 1. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdown Series Review. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. And with Movie Breakdown Series Review, it's a movie review series where we look at TV shows, anime, movie series, look at each episode or each movie, or I should say each season, each movie, give it a compilation grade at the end of it, so each one gets an A through F. And then at the end of it all, you give it a full grade. For example, Avatar: Last Airbender, I graded season 1, 2, and 3, and then gave a complete grade after I watched each individual season. And there's a series of anime or show or movie series when we review. Please put in the comment section below and get to as best I can. Also the Patreon.com/AliZakka. On there you can cut from the line, and after we review anything, not grade it immediately, put it up there on Patreon. It's only $2 a month, guys. $2 a month, you can jump in front of anybody. And that's Ali. That's Patreon.com/AliZakka. And today's review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 1, which is parts 1 and 2 in the anime and the manga, was a request back in, I want to say, September or October of 2020. And it has taken me this long to finally review it and finish it. I started season 1 back in October of 2020. I couldn't finish it. I could not finish it to save my life. And I was midway through season 1 still, because it's part 2 of season 1. And I was like, I have to do this. I have to finish JoJo's Bizarre Adventure before I start One Punch Man season 2, before I think about doing One Piece, before I think about doing Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. I need to finish this request that somebody asked of me back in 2020. And before I give my first thoughts on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Season 1, let me tell you what this is about. This is a spoiler review, guys, so give you guys a heads up. So you don't want spoilers, go watch it and come back to it. People, I'm going to start off before I jump into the story. People love this series. And you see memes of the series. You see a lot of the memes from season 2 and 3, I believe. But rarely season 1. And why is that? Well, let's go and jump into it. So season 1 is made of 2 parts. It's made of the Phantom Blood part and the Battle Tendency part. And season 1, you get the origin. You get the start of everything. You get the start of who Dio is. You get the start of Jonathan Joestar and the Joestar family. And you get the start of the abilities that comes with the Joestar, or I should not even say the Joestar themselves, but the abilities that people use to fight vampires. So there's this stone mask, and the stone mask turns one of the characters into a vampire, and he pretty much is running rampant, I'll put it that way. And one guy named Jonathan Joestar must fight the guy who gets the mask, who is Dio, fight him. And they must fight each other and save the world kind of stuff. Your typical anime protagonist stuff. Jonathan, Joestar, and Dio are brothers, or I should say they grew up together. And Dio is just an evil, conniving person who doesn't want to see Jonathan, Joestar succeed. Jonathan gets the girl, Dio ruins that. Jonathan gets this, Dio ruins that. Dio wants to be better than Jonathan in everything. And Phantom Blood is only 9 episodes. Only 9 episodes, but I swear these episodes drag so long for me. And the first part of this, you try to get behind it. To me, I was like, I didn't mind the art style. You know, I love art. And it was kind of cool seeing the different art styles and seeing like different shading, different drawings. There's certain type of color changes for certain characters. Like the character's hair is purple, but then it changed to yellow, or the color hair be green and it changed a different color. They do the color different shading in this art, which is in this show, which is huge. It's really unique. I'll give it that way. It's a unique kind of thing. And sometimes you watching like, wait a minute, ain't Dio hair is yellow? Why is it now red? Okay, cool. I see a little artistic flavor being tossed into it. But, and the storyline is pretty generic. Like, you've seen the storyline before. But the one thing that irks me is the dialogue in season 1. It's part 1. The dialogue is not good. And I'm going to put some clips over here in this anime, or in this review, because the dialogue portion of the show is what really hurts me. Like, you get, when Jonathan and Joestar learn how to use Harmon, which is the ability to use water and kind of make it more of a, not even a magical force. It's to use the ability to like transfer the energy of water to make it more of a weapon. Weaponized water, pretty much. And you use the water that flows through your body to use as energy. And Jonathan Joestar's arm is broken or injured, and he gets it healed. And he's like, oh my gosh, my arm is healed like new. And it's the most like over the top dramatic writing and dialogue for this show.
My arm was shattered, but now the pain has subsided. Lifting this rock is nothing.
That's incredible.
And there's certain points where characters are just telling you exactly what you're seeing, or saying things out loud that they don't need to be saying out loud. And I feel like I'm listening to Brock from Pokemon explain everything, what he's seeing that we see. Captain Obvious Speedwagon, we don't need to know this. Why are you telling me this? The dialogue in the show is not that great, and it irks me. And it really holds it back for me. It really does. And that's just part 1. Part 2 is the same thing.
Couldn't have predicted that. Great, that was lucky. Now the fight is in the bag. I've got this.
I'm just like, yeesh. And I get it. Part 1, they're in, let me get the exact area. Yeah, they're in the late 1800s and overseas in England, or I should say the UK. And it's just like the dialogue is not the strongest point. And some of the abilities in the show is just like plot armor or plot devices that get them out of situations. You're just like, oh, there's no explanation for that? This is just happening? Okay, sure. But I will say the ending of part 1 is really unique and it's really cool. Like, the ending, how part 1 ends with the death of Jonathan Joestar. I like the twist on that. I like how Dio gets defeated by Jonathan Joestar, but because he's a vampire, he still is breathing. His head is attached, and he wants to take his brother's body because his brother's strong enough to defeat him. And he tries to get his brother's body, but it doesn't happen that way. Jonathan pretty much prevails in the end, loses his life, and his wife goes on to New York and starts to, grows a family that they're going to grow together. And I do like the ending of part 1 for season 1. I thought it was a pretty cool way to end it off and hand the ball off, per se, to the next generation of Joestars. I thought it was kind of cool. I like that we didn't have to wait a whole series to get the next person to step up in line. It's just like, all right, part 1's done, here we go, move it on. And part 2, which is Battle Tennessee, which is based in New York in 1939, and then they go to Europe and the shenanigans that happen over Europe. The dialogue is just as cheesy and it's just as bad. But what's Battle Tendency about? You get Joestar, who is the son, actually the grandson of Jonathan Joestar, and Joestar teams up with Speedwagon, and they try to stop the ancient warriors. They're not really zombies per se. Let me see what they exactly are. Pillar Men. These Pillar Men who come out of the stones, and Joestar and a group of superpowered humans pretty much must stop the Pillar Men from taking over the world, and the mask does come back in play. So the mask in part 1 is also in part 2, and the second half is pretty much your other standard anime protagonist who gets himself in the heads over heels adventures, has to save the world from epic doom, and how he does it, he also gets plot armor and random stuff happens that gives him a power boost to the end, where the main bad guy at the end of the season gets tossed into the moon or tossed into space and freezes to death.
What?
And I cannot make that up. That's a legit thing that happens. They're on a volcano. The volcano erupts and shoots them into the sky, and the main character survives that. And I don't know how you got there. Like, I watched it, and to explain the trajectory of part 2 of season 1 is crazy. Like, you have Joseph Joestar. He's in New York. He fights a guy who's kind of like a vampire kind of dude, and then he goes to save Speedwagon, who's much older but gets captured by the Germans, who try to revive the Pillar Men to use their power to make the best supreme technology there is. And Von Schoenham is a guy who is also talking about dialogue. It's hilarious at a sense, the way he talks. But then you have Joestar meet a guy who is a descendant of another character in part 1 who dies, which you don't care about. But they train together and they try to fight the Pillar Men. And then the Pillar Men fight happens, where there's 3 different Pillar Men, and the first one gets killed by Joestar. The second one, who challenged Joestar visually to the epic battle in the Coliseum, fights him. Joestar wins, which is a pretty cool style of writing. I will give props to that. But then you get your generic bad guy boss at the end, who gets the building, becomes world destroying, all inevitable, snap finger, and plot armor is the reason why the heroes win at the end. It is, it's typical anime, typical story, and you're just like, okay. And part 2, I guess I've read through it. It's really about Joseph Joestar going to save Speedwagon, and then when he go try to save Speedwagon, he gets caught up in fighting the Pillar Men, and then from there he has to save the world by defeating the Pillar Men, and also getting trained by this lady named Lisa, which I'm not going to spoil that for you guys. Y'all have to watch it and really find out. But it's a lot going on in like 26 episodes. A lot. And it's rushed at certain points, and at certain points it drags out. And sometimes where you don't care about certain characters are getting killed off, you're like, I grew no attachment to these characters. They just died. And why I'm getting a narrator to tell me the backstory of what the character that died within this episode, I don't need that. I don't need this backstory. Okay, we're getting it because we gotta find some reason to let you know what this character is about within this 30-minute episode. It's okay. The anime is okay. It's fine. It's fine. The dialogue for me really kills it. And Battle Tendency, a lot of the the characters telling you exactly what they're doing, exactly, like, literally we can see you're doing it and you're explaining every bit of it. And then the bad guy can see you're doing it and you're explaining every bit of it. We don't need you to explain what's going on. We don't need you to explain what another character is also doing in the action in the moment. We see it. The writing and dialogue for this show, it's season 1, I should say, is not that strong, and it's probably the weakest of it. Color, I don't mind. Yeah, the color flips back and forth every once in a while. It's usually unique and artistic, but it's that writing really irks me. It really irks me.
Of my boiling, burning blood! You'll look like a lovely birthday cake covered in candles flickering with their merry little red flames.
Really, really irks me. And I felt like battle tendency was kind of rushed. All of a sudden, Lisa's just like, oh, this is who Lisa really is. You're like, huh, okay. I guess so, sure. Why not? Sure. Let's go. Sure. Alright. That's my little rant about JoJo. Let's go ahead and get into some characters here. Alright, so characters. So Jonathan Joestar, he was fine. I didn't mind him as a protagonist. I kind of got behind him because I wanted to see him prevail in the end. But it was just like the writing for me just really kind of killed it for him. But I really want to see how he prevails. He is your standard anime protagonist, kind-hearted, mild-mannered, want to be the best, wants to stop injustice and save others and be the good guy in the end. That's what he is, your standard protagonist. And within that season, you got Dio Brando, who is the antagonist. He's the perfect bad guy, irksome, annoying, think he's better than everybody, who think he's on everybody, trying to ruin Jonathan Joestar. He's just your anime antagonist, your anime villain. Speedwagon is a very intriguing character to me. He is your Krillin to your Goku, but I would say Krillin to your Goku in Dragon Ball Z versus Dragon Ball. And he explains everything that's happening. He tells you exactly what's going on. Jonathan Joestar fist turns a light color, turns, a certain color, and Speedwagon's there to tell you exactly what it means. He tells you every little thing and just voice all his thoughts and opinions. Will A. Zeppeli was a cool character. He's the one who teaches JoJo about Harmon and the ability to harness water and hydration to make it an energy that flows within you. I thought he was a pretty cool character. And the moment you really see, like, okay, this dude about to do some work, he gets killed. But he gets killed for the sake of Jonathan Joestar to have a more leg in the fight. So he was a cool character in season 1. Season 1, part 1. And then season 1, part 2, we get introduced to Joseph Joestar, who, unlike Jonathan Joestar, I will give a props for this. Joseph is more arrogant, more of a street punk who uses magic and magician techniques to get out of situations or trick his bad guys or trick his opponents. I thought Joseph Joestar's idea of a character was kind of cool. Also, his dialogue really is cheesy and over the top. And I don't know if the show was intentionally trying to be funny with him, but the dialogue for him was also just But I will say this at their but Joseph Joestar, I like his idea. I thought he was a unique character. And there's times I didn't like him because he was kind of a dick. But I do like how Jonathan and Joseph are two different types of people. And I like how you move on to the protagonist of the story and they are two different people. They don't have the same, they both believe in what's right and wrong, but the way they go about it is completely different. And I do like that. While Jonathan's more upstanding kind of gentleman, Joseph's more of your like street punk. And then you also have Caesar Zeppeli, who is Will A. Zeppeli's grandson or descendant, I should say. He was a ladies' man. Don't really get attached to him before he gets killed. Von Stroheim's another character who just there and you're just like, he is simply plot device, come in and save the day, rescue person. Lisa, I thought she was a kind of cool character. I do like the fact that like she's a strong individual character. She didn't really need somebody to save her until the very end, but because she gets tricked. But I do like her character. I thought Lisa was a cool character. I do give her like stoic demeanor and the cool personality about her. I thought she was solid, and yeah, I thought she was cool, pretty much. I like what they did with her. And then the bad guys in season 3, you have AC/DC, who he was okay. You have Cars, who's pretty much like the main bad guy. Once again, just regular villain. And the one person, Wamu, who I like the most out of the 3 bad guys in season 1 part 2 was Wamu, because he had an honor code and he had something you got more attached to. I like the voice actor for him in English was Paul St. Peters. I thought he did a great job voice acting Wamu, and he had an honor code that wasn't just I'm a big bad guy. He was like, yeah, I will want to fight you in a worthy match. At first I thought, you belittle me, and then you proved yourself, Joestar, to be of my equal. I'm going to give you an equal battle. I do like that, and I like the honor code to the end. I thought he was probably the best written villain in season 1, in my opinion. But that's just me. All the other villains just seem like your standard anime antagonists. Any other thoughts for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure season 1? Music, it's cool. Nothing really much stand out about. The artwork is amazing. I would say that it does change on you a lot, and you do got to get used to it a little bit, but the artwork is fine. Animation, there's some good animation in it. Nothing really pops out to me. They use 3D models sometimes in certain episodes. You can see it. Even this opener of season 1 has 3D models and 3D animation in it. It's fine. You do notice it, but to me, this season just doesn't hit it for me. And JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a season you should watch. If you're gonna watch JoJo all the way through, I think yes, so you know what's going on, you know how the power scaling works, power abilities, stuff like that. But I don't think you really need to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure season 1, to be honest. Season 2, which is gonna have all your memes and music and all the different stuff you see all the time. You're gonna see that more in season 2, possibly season 3. But to me, to be personally honest, I probably won't venture forth in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure unless somebody asks me, hey, can you review season 2 or review season 3? Give it a shot, because I personally just was not a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure season 1. It took me from October 2020 to July 2021 to finish it. And mind you, I watch Hunter x Hunter, all of that. I watch Attack on Titan, all of that. I watch in between different episodes of One Piece, Ronnie Kenshin, One Punch Man, My Hero Academia. I've watched all these other animes in between JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So for me, what really does it is the writing, is the dialogue. It's at certain point you see they try to be funny with jokes, and at other points you're just like, God, kill me. Why is this happening? I can't finish this anime. It's only 26 episodes and I couldn't finish this season. But yeah, so my final grade of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure season 1 is a C-. C- for me. What really saves it is the animation. I do like how the storyline progresses from the grandfather to the grandson, and it moves forward. And then season 2 is a different Joestar, who is also brought to the forefront. So I do like that. You don't have to wait a whole series to see a new character. And there are certain aspects of season 1 that I do like. I do like some of the fights. I do like the story plots here and there and where they was going with it. Just the execution of it with the dialogue and the characters explaining stuff out loud, or the narrator popping in explaining stuff that we already see what's going on, really hurts it for me. I ain't talking about the narration in this. Like, imagine Hunter x Hunter season 5 part 2, that narration throughout the whole series. And even at random parts where it's like the narrator tells you exactly how the character is feeling, so you see it happen with like the narrator telling the story of it, and you're just like, I see it. You don't have to tell me. Let me feel in this. But for some people, JoJo Bizarre Adventure might work. So there it is. My grade is C-. If you've seen JoJo Bizarre Adventure, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode when we break down series review. And keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, you want to see what else I'm doing in my normal life and other things that's going on, please follow me on Instagram at Ali_Zakka. I'll put it right here around my face. Yep, right there. Also, if you want more episodes of movie breakdowns or grind towards success or whatever it is I'm doing on YouTube, you know what? Follow my page right here, like I said before, the little comment thing right there, And then you can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns right here, and watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success right there. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next time, and keep being awesome.